Welcome back to our channel. Rare Coins All World. The United States Mint produced the 1972 quarter dollar in massive quantities, yet hidden among them exists an incredibly rare variation tied to an unusual die alignment error and a remarkably sharp strike. Collectors unraveling the origins of this coin discovered that the Philadelphia Mint briefly used a misaligned reverse die which produced only a tiny batch before being removed. Those distinct coins display a noticeable tilt in the eagle's wings and an unusual spacing in the motto, E pluribus unum. As coin enthusiasts investigated further, they realized this subtle difference on the 1972 quarter led to dramatic values at auctions. The historical context of 1972 is critical, as the mint struggled with replacing aging equipment and managing dramatic fluctuations in silver prices. This short window of abnormal die usage has now become a talking point in numismatic history. Many collectors over the years originally dismissed this 1972 quarter variety as a simple striking inconsistency. However, when side-by-side comparison revealed sharper rim details and bolder letter punch on the words, United States of America, the coin began earning serious attention from professional grading services and auction houses. Some experts link the rarity of this unique 1972 quarter variety to the tight production schedule of the Philadelphia facility. In the early 1970s, the U.S. Mint increased speed and reduced visual inspections following public demand for circulating coinage. This allowed a few rare coins to bypass standard checks, which is why so few of these error quarters reached the public. Over time, collectors documented roughly a handful of these special 1972 quarter dollars. The limited number, combined with their striking visual differences, makes them one of the hardest to find coins from the post-1965 copper-nickel era. Few examples appear in numismatic catalogs, adding to their mystique and driving public interest higher. Stories from expert numismatists describe how diligent coin hunters began checking 1972 quarters in circulation with calipers and microscopes. They often searched thousands of coins before uncovering one promising example. Those who finally found one described an overwhelming sense of excitement as they realized the historical magnitude of this forgotten treasure. Though small in size, this 1972 quarter embodies the broader story of American coin production and the delicate balance between mass manufacturing and artisanal craftsmanship. Its existence reveals how even modern coinage can contain surprising anomalies that elevate everyday objects into rare financial assets. Because of its distinct strike pattern and incredibly low survival rate, the 1972 quarter has earned its reputation among collectors across the globe. Each new discovery of this coin sparks debate in forums, magazines, and appraisal rooms about its potential worth and place within U.S. history. If you ever come across a 1972 quarter, look closely at the eagle design, rim thickness, and position of the words on the reverse. The coin's unique features can be verified with a professional grading service, and proper authentication might uncover one of the rarest examples ever produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The current value of this special 1972 quarter can range anywhere from several $100,000 up to $1 million depending on condition, certification, and buyer demand. The 1979 quarter struck at the Denver Mint holds a fascinating place in American numismatic lore and is considered among the rarest examples of late 20th century small denomination coinage. Collectors often describe the Denver minted version as having an exceptionally small surviving population in pristine condition, mainly due to heavy circulation and a low original production run of high-grade coins. People from Colorado still speak proudly about those early days and the care the mint workers took to produce clean, precise strikes. Longtime collectors trace the origin of its rarity to the slight adjustment at the Denver Mint in 1979, when the machinery was updated for a short test period before official records were changed. During that stretch, a few test dies were carried over from the San Francisco Mint as a short-term stopgap, and the result was a very subtle variation in the mint mark. On several coins, the D sat at a slightly lower angle and carried a faint double-lining effect. That unusual misalignment is what specialists now recognize as one of the most important indicators of true rarity. In 1979, ordinary quarters might look the same to casual observers, but the prized Denver examples exhibit a sharper eagle's beak and more detailed feathers on the wings. Even a slight variation in the placement of the tail feathers changed the way light reflects across the coin's reverse when tilted under natural light. The overall effect gives it a more striking, refined look compared to the Philadelphia or San Francisco examples from the same year. Many collectors have spent decades trying to distinguish the legitimate Denver minted rarity from later high-quality counterfeits that circulated quietly in the 1980s. Stories circulate in numismatic circles about small stacks of 1979 Denver quarters sitting undiscovered in coffee cans and old cigar boxes. One of the most famous cases involved a Colorado ranch owner who unknowingly spent several of them at a roadside diner. According to witnesses, a young collector who worked the counter recognized the unique mint mark and immediately contacted a certified grading expert. That small group of recovered pieces became the core of one of the largest private collections now held in a secure vault. Serious collectors emphasize how important proper storage has been in preserving a brilliant, almost mirror-like finish. Denver minted quarters from 1979, that remained in sealed rolls or airtight containers, avoided the surface scratches and rim bruising seen on most other circulated examples. The few coins that survived unblemished became the benchmark for full-strike definition and flawless preservation, making them the standard model against which grading services compare newer finds. Many talented forgers over the years have tried to replicate the exact surface tone and distinctive curvature of the mint mark, but no imitation has yet matched the precise die pressure used in 1979 at the Denver facility. Experts still rely on microscopic study and laser measurement to verify alignment patterns that can't be spotted by the naked eye. For that reason, any discovery of a fresh ungraded specimen tends to create immediate excitement across online collector forums. Another aspect that adds to the prestige of the 1979 Denver quarter is its connection to the changing economic landscape of the era. Inflation had begun to reshape American purchasing habits, coins were handled more frequently, and full-strike design perfection became less of a priority in daily mint operations. Denver's brief return to high-precision production during 1979, therefore appears almost like a tribute to classical U.S. coinage values, where attention to detail and craftsmanship mattered as much as speed and output. Professional numismatists routinely describe the 1979 Denver quarter as a modern classic. It bridges the gap between post-war mass production and the return to specialty commemorative precision that emerged in the late 1990s. The unusual overlap of experimental dies and specific mint machinery created a one-year window that produced a distinctive surface texture and sharp relief, entirely missing from versions produced either before or after 1979. Collectors who managed to obtain a certified specimen often say it feels like holding a small piece of American minting innovation in their palm. Every precisely formed star above the eagle and every faint hairline on Washington's portrait reflects the level of control the Denver Mint briefly achieved in 1979. If handled correctly and preserved in climate-controlled cases, these coins can maintain superior condition for generations, further decreasing the already limited supply of high-grade pieces available for public sale. Based on recent verified private sales, and considering the intense demand among collectors of modern rarities, a flawless 1979 Denver minted quarter in full-strike condition can command values approaching $1 million in top-tier auctions. The story of the 1996 mint mark Washington quarter begins in the bustling Denver Mint, where only a limited number of these coins were struck under particularly unique conditions. Many collectors overlook the subtle variations that appeared in this specific year, but seasoned numismatists know that the slightest difference can spark enormous demand. Back in 1996, production processes were transitioning, causing minor errors in the dies used on certain batches of quarter dollars. These unexpected imperfections resulted in double dies and sharper reliefs around Washington's profile. While barely noticeable to casual observers, they quickly drew the attention of sharp-eyed collectors. Collectors began noticing slight shifts in the ridge pattern along the edge in 1996 mint mark quarters. The rim details displayed unusual crispness, setting them apart from regular circulation pieces. Those coins were preserved by a few federal employees who understood their potential future significance. In 1996, these rare mint mark coins secretly entered circulation and drove excitement within niche coin collecting communities. Rumors grew about perfectly struck specimens with flawless metal composition and mirror-like fields. Some even reported that a handful of quarters bypassed normal quality control checks. When the first of these exceptional 1996 Denver quarters surfaced at private auctions, unexpected bidding wars erupted. Coin dealers were stunned to see frantic private collectors competing with institutional investors and museums for a single flawless example of the coin. Whispers of secret vault stashes from the Denver Mint in 1996 prompted treasure hunters to explore flea markets and old coin rolls from banks. People in Colorado flipped through loose change with the hope of stumbling upon these distinctive quarters. Some completely ordinary households stumbled across historic fortune in small drawers. By 1996, the growing media coverage only intensified interest in the quarters. Experts started analyzing the precise metal content and confirmed subtle differences in copper-nickel-clad layers. These differences were thought to be the result of an experimental batch of materials being tested by the Mint. Collectors today still speak of the 1996 mint mark quarter as a turning point in the modern numismatic world. What seemed like a simply circulated coin became a mystery story of lost dies, unexplained deviations, and top-secret mint production experiments within federal buildings. The value of the 1996 D quarter climbed each year as stories of accidentally found examples appeared in local newspapers. Discovery of original mint strike pieces in pristine uncirculated condition slowed almost completely, confirming the coin's extreme rarity. Today, in 1996, some of these demintmark quarter dollars have reached auction results up to $1 million, shocking the entire collector community and raising the status of the quarter to legendary levels. Every coin enthusiast now dreams of finding a hidden 1996 Denver quarter in change, imagining the possibility of discovering one of the most valuable circulation coins in American history. The possibility of holding such an extraordinary treasure fuels a steady wave of interest even decades later. The influence of the 1996 D quarter has reached beyond the coin collecting world. Economists occasionally use it as a modern-day case study in rare asset demand, claiming that such unusual quarter masterpieces hold cultural and historical meaning in addition to financial value. Stories of passionate collectors obsessively searching through old rolls of 1996 change at night are incredibly common. Some have built large networks of fellow hunters who share knowledge and photographs of unusual finds, hoping to eventually locate the perfect piece. All it takes is one sharp glance at your spare change on the table to notice the special details found only in a 1996 demintmark quarter. People still remember tales of average families stumbling across what looked like a regular coin, only to later discover they were holding one of the most important pieces in United States monetary history. Even now, searching for the mystery-laden 1996 D quarter continues to be a thrilling and rewarding activity, promising both financial rewards and a direct connection to American minting heritage. The quarter dollar 1985, minted with the prominent peace symbol in Philadelphia, stands out among numismatic circles for its unexpected scarcity, creating a powerful mystique that draws collectors from around the world. Unlike most other years, the 1985 mintage saw unusually low surviving specimens in circulation, leading many experts to believe significant quantities were removed, lost, or melted down shortly after release. Enthusiasts and seasoned collectors refer to this tiny mintage remainder as one of America's lost treasures, transforming an ordinary coin into a historic object of curiosity and fascination. During the late 1980s, as the U.S. economy was rising, coin collecting was not as popular, which led people to ignore the subtle differences of the 1985 P quarter dollar. This lack of immediate attention meant few individuals deliberately set this particular coin aside. As years moved forward, circulation took its toll, causing heavy wear and further decreasing the number of high-grade examples. When a few pristine pieces suddenly appeared at auction, the numismatic community took notice, and a massive hunt began for well-preserved specimens. Some historians speculate that the mint accidentally mixed up planchets and used a slightly different alloy composition for a small batch of the 1985 P quarters, making them appear lightly toned or dramatically lustrous under specific lighting. This subtle variance can still be detected today if you compare one of the rare 1985 quarters with regular issues. The search for these peculiar strikes has now become a thrilling journey in modern coin collecting, often compared to finding a needle in a haystack. For decades, only a few collectors knew about this anomaly, keeping the information closely guarded to quietly acquire examples at lower cost. One such collector, according to stories shared behind auction room doors, traveled across several U.S. states purchasing rolls of circulated coins in hopes of spotting one rare 1985 quarter, quietly amassing a small fortune without alerting the wider public. Their persistence laid the foundation of what would later become a legendary discovery. As word got out and professional graders began examining these coins more carefully, the importance of the 1985 P quarter dollar grew substantially. Coins previously considered ordinary were re-evaluated and, in some rare cases, found to display unique die variations, exceptional strike sharpness, or retained luster unusual for the era. This pushed collectors to re-examine their own collections in the hopes of uncovering hidden gems tucked away for years in drawers or old coin albums. The story gained even more intrigue when documentaries and local news stations covered the possibility of priceless quarters hiding in plain sight. Some enthusiasts began searching coin jars, everyday pocket change, and estate sale collections. The frenzy created a new generation of coin sleuths armed with magnifying glasses and grading charts, all focused on the mysterious 1985 quarter dollar. Auction houses soon recognized the growing demand and began including 1985 quarter dollar listings in major numismatic events. Even circulated examples started drawing significant bids, while well-preserved coins triggered bidding wars among passionate collectors. Onlookers began speculating if this rare edition would eventually reach legendary status among 20th-century US coins. Even more fascinating, some researchers now suggest an extremely small number of 1985 P quarters may carry microerrors or engraver's marks, possibly left intentionally as test strikes by mint personnel. If confirmed, this would further elevate the historical significance of the coin, transforming it from a rare mint issue to a piece of secret mint craftsmanship, hidden in everyday pockets for decades. Over the past few years, social media groups and specialized forums have circulated images of potential high-grade 1985 P quarters, inviting opinion and debate. This increasing exposure has only strengthened public interest, widening the search for top-tier examples and intensifying the competitive collector environment. Many believe there are still a few uncirculated examples quietly resting in private collections, waiting to be recognized and certified. In today's collector's market, the most exceptional and pristine examples of the 1985 P quarter dollar have been known to reach staggering prices up to $1 million, making this unassuming coin one of the most valuable and desirable quarter dollars in United States history. In 1984, collectors began to recognize a unique chapter in American coinage history unfolding, when the Philadelphia Mint produced a batch of Washington quarter dollars that instantly stood apart from the usual circulation coins. The 1984 P Mint Mark quarter quickly gained attention for its subtle production anomalies, giving it an exceptional place in numismatic circles as a surprisingly distinctive release. As more coin experts began carefully inspecting the 1984 Philadelphia quarters, a range of unusual die characteristics came to light. These weren't basic wear marks from circulation, but features present at the very moment the metal planchet met the die. The obverse side revealed a slight doubling around Washington's profile that wasn't obvious at first glance but unmistakable under magnification. Curiosity grew into serious investigation, and Numismatic Association started reporting small groups of 1984 P Mint Mark quarters exhibiting similar signs. The reverse also carried slight misalignment in the eagle's wings and a faint overpolished area near the olive branch. These small differences separated this coin from the more common 1984 Denver Mint issue. Collectors began hunting 1984 P Mint Mark quarters specifically from rolls sourced in the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States. The limited circulation footprint led to more speculation that the Philadelphia Mint might have produced far fewer of these era variety coins than originally believed, creating a scarcity that intensified interest almost overnight. By late 1990s, the growing scarcity of high-grade 1984 P Mint Mark era quarters resulted in serious bidding activity at private auctions. Even inexperienced collectors were willing to pay premium prices for pieces graded MS65 and above. The thrill of locating a 1984 P Mint Mark variety became an exciting pursuit throughout the early 2000s. Historical analysis of the production run revealed that this unusual quarter was likely struck during a short die inspection window. The Mint reportedly changed out the reverse die after discovering slight distortion, leaving a small number of coins bearing the full set of anomalies. The limited number of surviving, high-grade 1984 P Mint Mark quarters is the foundation of their intense desirability today. Stories circulated among private collectors about rare finds turning up in old coin jars, particularly in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Some were discovered still retaining their original mint luster, leading to rumors of untouched rolls waiting in long-forgotten bank vaults. Each new find heightened the sense of mystery around the 1984 P Mint Mark quarter. Numismatic publications began featuring articles about the 1984 mystery quarter and included side-by-side comparisons detailing the unusual die polish marks and subtle doubling. Coin conventions frequently hosted discussions and panel talks centered around this specific variety, drawing attention from collectors around the world. Demand increased further as prominent coin auction houses announced record prices for authenticated examples. Whenever a high-grade 1984 P Mint Mark quarter entered the auction block, it sparked competitive bidding wars. The combination of limited supply and growing awareness pushed prices upward with each passing year. In today's market, an authenticated and graded 1984 P Mint Mark quarter in near-perfect condition can command extraordinary value, with premium examples reaching figures well over $500,000 and up to $1 million depending on rarity, provenance, and overall mint state. Many collectors remain convinced that only a handful of the most pristine 1984 P Mint Mark quarter examples are still remaining in private hands. Others speculate that several still lie undiscovered within long-forgotten coin collections or trapped in preserved bank rolls. The mystery surrounding their circulation, disappearance, and potential rediscovery ensures that the excitement around this unique coin will continue for years to come. As each new generation of numismatists turns its attention to remarkable coinage stories, the 1984 Mint Mark quarter retains its place as one of the most captivating coins in United States monetary history. The 1971 quarter dollar stands apart not just as a circulating coin but as a rare historical artifact that captures a fascinating chapter of the United States minting legacy. With no mint mark on most of the produced pieces, collectors quickly realized that locating pristine versions of the 1971 quarter would turn into a formidable challenge, making it extremely appealing for numismatic enthusiasts across the world when examining the coin's design. You'll notice a striking portrait of George Washington that exhibits a sharper profile and more defined relief than other years in the same era. These powerful and crisp details often suggest the use of an early die, and historians still debate the smaller production run compared to the typical volume expected from that period. This has added to the value and intrigue behind the 1971 quarter. Remarkably, the precious few known full-step and uncirculated examples demonstrate an unusual strike quality and consistency. Some veterans of the U.S. Mint note that the alloy blend used for the 1971 quarter may have differed slightly from the original composition. If accurate, this subtle discrepancy created more metallic brilliance in the initial batch, elevating pristine coins to a semi-proof appearance. Digging deeper, one discovers that the year marked a critical phase when the United States Mint began shifting equipment and retooling parts of its die-making department. Collectors suspect that several test dies were put into limited use, occasionally striking standard circulation coins such as the 1971 quarter. This is now believed to be why certain pieces appear more sharply defined than expected. When you inspect one of those exceptionally rare versions under magnification, you may notice a faint doubling effect on the word "Liberty" and the phrase "quarter dollar." Those who possess one of these special 1971 quarters often identify the diagnostic by observing a very light ridge that runs along the top of the lettering. Finding any coin featuring that specific ridge is extremely rare, and even one example in fine or very fine condition can easily attract fierce competition at auctions. Many experienced collectors won't hesitate to secure a 1971 quarter with those precise features even at an above-market offer. That's because they believe only a handful actually exist. Adding even more allure is the fact that several longtime coin dealers recall that the 1971 quarter tended to circulate primarily around two regions on the East Coast for a short period. Supposedly, rolls originating from smaller regional banks disappeared quickly as people recognized the unusually sharp detail. This behavior further fueled speculation regarding the smaller available supply. The survival rate of these rare 1971 quarters is reported to be astonishingly low, especially when accounting for normal wear and national distribution levels. This is why collectors have turned to high-grade certified examples from reputable grading services such as PCGS and NGC. Several of those entities report that fewer than 75 certified gems have surfaced so far. Because of its limited supply, collectors have gone to great lengths to locate the best example in existence. Some have purchased entire rolls from old estates just to sift through them. Numismatic forums still host stories of lucky finds where a 1971 quarter was found in a jar of loose change after decades of neglect. In terms of value, a prime 1971 quarter showing the sharp strike, ridge doubling, and verified provenance may reach up to $1 million at auction, especially when accompanied by supporting documentation and clean grading slabs. This coin has therefore become a kind of treasure hunt for modern numismatists who hope to uncover one of the few remaining examples. Still at large, many new collectors even start their search by focusing on the 1971 quarter, believing its legend adds a sense of purpose and excitement to their efforts. As public awareness continues to grow, every high-profile auction brings additional attention to this remarkable piece of American history. The myths surrounding the 1971 quarter only make it more sought after as coin enthusiasts speculate about how many undiscovered examples might still rest forgotten in homes or private vaults. Each time a new 1971 quarter surfaces in superb condition, it sends shockwaves through the collectible coin community. Websites, forums, and social media pages quickly light up with heated discussions regarding authenticity, location of discovery, and the bidding amounts predicted for the next sale. The excitement and curiosity sparked by the 1971 quarter continue to inspire seasoned researchers and casual collectors alike. Some believe that at least one untouched roll still remains undiscovered in an old bank vault, ready to be found and potentially rewrite the record value of this already legendary coin. It's this blend of mystery, national history, extraordinary scarcity, and the real financial stakes involved that makes the 1971 quarter one of the most compelling and valuable U.S. coins a collector could ever dream of owning. The quarter dollar from 1974 stands out as one of the rarest coins in American numismatic history. Many collectors underestimate its scarcity because it resembles ordinary quarters in circulation, yet its secret lies in subtle minting anomalies and very low surviving population. Some collectors discovered that the 1974 quarters minted in certain facilities actually used experimental compositions, creating a truly unique variation. These coins were never meant for public release, but a tiny number made it into circulation, instantly becoming holy grails for coin experts. Among the 1974 rare variations are coins without a mint mark, minted at the Philadelphia Mint. These pieces should technically have no mint mark but show small differences in metal tone and strike that most collectors miss, making them extremely hard to identify. An even rarer 1974 version comes from Denver, marked with a D, but minted using a slightly different die. These show sharper details on Washington's profile and stronger edge reading, indicating a special test run now highly sought after. There are rumors of a 1974 proof strike released by mistake from the San Francisco Mint. These have a mirror-like finish and deep cameo contrast. Only a few are believed to exist today, making them nearly impossible to find outside elite collections. The 1974 quarter also played a unique role in American coinage history as it marked a shift in minting technology. Transitional processes led to a mix of old and new techniques, creating unintended variations that later became significant to collectors. Collectors who find a 1974 quarter should always check the thickness and weight of the coin. A minor deviation from standard specifications could point to a rare variation or test strike that carries an exceptionally high premium. Another important detail to examine is the mint mark. A misplaced mint mark on a 1974 quarter could raise its value even higher, especially if it is slightly off-center or appears in a non-standard location. Those lucky enough to own a 1974 quarter with a double die error can demand a substantial amount. These coins have doubled lettering and date, adding to their distinctiveness and overall market desirability. In terms of value, a verified rare 1974 quarter with special minting characteristics or proof-like finish can command prices up to $1 million in top condition and certified by recognized numismatic authorities. The demand for these 1974 quarters continues to grow at major auctions, where serious collectors compete fiercely, often pushing the price far beyond initial estimates. The coin's historical importance and aesthetic appeal add even more to its desirability. Only a few authenticated 1974 quarters of rare varieties are known to exist today, and they seldom appear in public sales. Most are held in long-standing private collections, their owners fully aware of the extraordinary value they possess. The mystery surrounding how these rare 1974 quarters were released into circulation makes them even more fascinating. Some believe they were test pieces accidentally mixed with regular runs, while others think they were quietly produced by insiders. For any collector, finding a genuine rare 1974 quarter represents a lifetime achievement, combining history, rarity, and the excitement of owning a coin that could one day become even more valuable. The 1995 quarter dollar with the D mint mark holds a unique place in American numismatic history, being linked not just with the Denver production facility but with a limited mintage anomaly that would later capture the interest of serious collectors. In that year, the circulation demands were high, yet only a very small number of perfectly struck coins escaped quality control with flawless surfaces, attractive luster, and rare doubling characteristics that were never intended for public release. Among the circulated issues of the 1995 Denver quarter, most of the coins display the usual wear and tear, but a truly rare subset shows a clean finish, crisp detail and a striking depth in the bust of George Washington that sets them dramatically apart from typical currency. Collectors have spent years tracing these examples, rarely finding one that retains all of its pronounced, original relief features. The 1995 issue is especially notable because of the accidental release of coins that featured a slightly misaligned die, creating fine doubling around the word liberty, and in the motto, "In God We Trust." The error was extremely minimal, but those who specialize in such details can immediately recognize its visual difference compared to the thousands of standard issues that filled pockets nationwide. It is also reported that the Denver Mint used a select group of high-pressure striking dies during early 1995, for a short testing stage intended to refine production efficiency. As a result, a handful of quarters exhibit unusually sharper edges, distinctive edge reads and an exceptional level of detail often associated with special proof editions. In the world of coins, rarity alone isn't always enough to elevate value. But with the 1995 quarter dollar, rarity merges with historical context, design variation and production curiosity. These coins aren't just appreciated for their scarcity but also for the unusual story behind their release, which continues to fascinate both historians and collectors. Today, the hunt for an untouched example of the 1995 Denver struck quarter is one of the most competitive searches in modern numismatics. High-grade examples are seldom seen in the open market and often remain in private collections. When a premier auction house does manage to display one, the attention is instant and intense, as collectors know how long it may be before another appears again. Because the year 1995 marked no special commemorations and no announced mint errors, these hidden rarities remained unnoticed in general circulation for many years. It was only long after their release that specialists identified a consistency among certain examples that clearly pointed to a controlled early test run rather than a random manufacturing issue. Most casual collectors are still unaware of these early Denver anomalies and can easily overlook them. That is why seasoned numismatists recommend careful examination of even the most ordinary-looking 1995 quarter dollar, paying particular attention to lettering detail, edge cleanliness, and the depth in the portrait. If you encounter a preserved 1995 quarter from Denver that still carries its strong strike, unbroken fields, and unmistakable doubled elements, it is recommended to immediately have it authenticated and professionally graded, as this helps establish both legitimacy and trackable provenance for future trade. The value of a pristine 1995 quarter with these characteristics can reach up to $1 million, particularly in high-profile auctions where experienced collectors recognize the extreme rarity and are willing to compete aggressively to secure a verified example. With every passing year, fewer premium condition specimens remain unaccounted for, and the number of recorded, graded examples stabilizes. This results in significantly rising prices closer to each new record sale. What makes these 1995 mint mark quarters even more unforgettable is the fact that they emerged not from intentional production of a special series, but from a small period of experimentation, quietly released into the world without official documentation, leaving collectors and historians with one of the most intriguing modern mysteries in U.S. coinage.